Right. Lagos State government set to boost creative economy, cultural heritage. Federal government, United States Agency for International Development signed memorandum of understanding to improve our power sector. On the foreign scene, NATO pledges irreversible support for Ukraine's future membership. And in sport, Nigeria Olympic Committee allays fears of ban ahead Paris Games. Now the details. I am Dele Agadumo. In a bid to showcase the rich cultural heritage of Lagos to the global community and boost creative economy, the state government is set to boost this year's edition of Afropolis. Commissioner for Tourism, Art and Culture, Toke Benson Awoyinka, who made this known in a town hall meeting at Oniko, said Afropolis is a celebration of rich cultural heritage, creativity and innovation, where African creatives come together to showcase their talents, exchange ideas and collaborate on groundbreaking projects. Benson Awoyinka expressed optimism that the cultural festival, which will take place at the end of October, will foster community spirit and enhance Lagos' global reputation as the largest black cultural melting pot in the world. She noted that the festival is a testament to the vibrant and dynamic spirit of Lagos, with a promise that the Baje Sanwo-Olu administration will continue to support young creative minds with global visibility and opportunities they deserve. On his part, the founder and artistic director of Afropolis, Kudus Onikeku, stated that Lagos has not optimized its tourism potential to the world, hence the need to collaborate with relevant stakeholders to showcase Lagos to the world. Onikeku thanked Governor Sanwo-Olu for supporting the initiative, which he believed would further drive and increase the tourism economy of the state, as many international tourists will be in Lagos for the cultural festival and explore the different geographical areas of the state. The cultural festival will showcase various creative sectors such as music, fashion, gaming, tech, design, film, dance, AI, and research. The Lagos State Parastatals Monitoring Office, PMO, has commended Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM for effective, timely traffic information and efficient service delivery to residents of the state. Permanent Secretary, Lagos State Parastatals Monitoring Office, Adetutu Oshosanya, stated this during a working visit to the management of Lagos Traffic Radio for an assessment and familiarization tour and support on the operational activities of the station. Oshosanya said PMO will ensure that all projects being embarked on by parastatals agencies of the state government are monitored effectively to achieve a world-class city of Lagos and complement the efforts of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's Themes Plus agenda. She said the Parastatals Monitoring Office has the mandate to coordinate the activities of all parastatals and agencies of the state government, which include and not limited to revenue generation, monitoring and reporting to the governor on the performances of the various agencies. While appreciating the management and staff of Lagos Traffic Radio for efficient service delivery as one of its kind in Africa, Oshosanya urged the station not to relent on its oars in ensuring that adequate information on traffic-related issues are reported promptly. Earlier in his welcome address, the General Manager of Lagos Traffic Radio, Tayo Akwale, said the station since inception has increased its listenership to 2 million daily and has come out stronger in the area of new media geared towards providing timely traffic information to road users. Akwale said the agency, as part of its strategic moves to reach more listeners, is set to launch 2 booster stations in Ikorodu and Lekki Ajah axis of the state after a careful visibility study. He appreciated the Permanent Secretary and her team for their continuous support and ideas towards the growth of the station, especially in the area of revenue generation. The team from the Lagos State Parastatals Monitoring Office was also taken round some operational areas of the station by the General Manager. In a bid to ensure that water runs in every home of Lagos residents, the Lagos State House of Assembly Committee on Environment has paid an oversight visit to the Lagos Water Corporation headquarters in Ijora. Managing Director of Lagos Water Corporation, Mukhtar Tijani, the Executive Director of Operations, Omolanke Taiwo, and some management staff of LWC received the Assembly members led by the Chairman of the House Committee on Environment, Adebola Shabi. Shabi expressed concern over the unavailability of water supply in most homes in the state, emphasizing the need for the House to ensure that the interests and rights of their constituents are protected. He requested a comprehensive report on ongoing infrastructural projects and the challenges faced by LWC in producing water supply. On his part, the Managing Director of LWC, Mukhtar Tijani, assured the committee that he has been working diligently to ensure water supply reaches most homes in the state. He cited the recent connection of Barua community to Mosan Okwola Waterworks as one of the steps taken to achieve this goal. The Lagos State government has announced the total closure of the stretch of Osborne Foreshore Estate Phase 1 to Adeniji Ramp to enable the Federal Ministry of Works lay asphalt on the section. The closure will commence from 12 midnight on Saturday 13th to 5 a.m. on Monday 15th July. Commissioner for Transportation Oluwaseun Oshiemi highlighted the existing alternative routes, saying motorists from Alexander and Glover are to make use of Oba Adeyinka Oyekon Avenue in Mos Ikoyi to connect Obalende Ring Road and access 3rd Mainland Bridge for their desired destinations. Those from Victoria Island are expected to go through Falomo Roundabout to link Awolowo Road and access 3rd Mainland Bridge for their desired destinations. Oshiemi noted that alternately, motorists from Victoria Island can also utilize Zumbambadiwe Avenue to link McQueen Bridge and proceed to CMS and Akbogbo Bridge inward Eko Bridge to access Funshaw Williams Avenue for their desired destination. He said for the closure period, motorists on the other side from Surah Bridge will have seamless traffic flow inbound Osborne Foreshore Estate. Now to the rest of the stories. The Federal Ministry of Power and the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, have signed a 115 billion naira memorandum of understanding to secure Nigeria's commitment to electricity sector reforms, market transparency, liquidity and expanding access to affordable power. The MOU signed by USAID and Nigerian Mission Director Melissa Jones and the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Power, Mahmouda Maman, was to support the implementation of a 115.2 billion naira US government grant-funded technical assistance program intended to support power sector development and reforms in Nigeria. While commenting on the development, Jones reiterated the U.S. government's commitment to advancing electrification in Nigeria. The Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, expressed gratitude for USAID's continued support, emphasizing the collaboration's transformative potential. The Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, says it will press for 250,000 naira minimum wage during a planned meeting with President Bola Tinubu at the State House, Abuja, today. The head of public affairs of the NLC, Benson Upa, says Labour will insist on its 250,000 naira proposal during the session with the President. Labour leaders were invited to a meeting with the President in furtherance of Tinubu's promise to hold more consultations with stakeholders on the minimum wage. The proposed meeting is coming about a month after the President said in his Democracy Day speech on June 12, 2024, that an executive bill on the new national minimum wage would soon be sent to the National Assembly for passage. The federal government has declared that with the strategic measures aimed at addressing the high food prices nationwide, prices of the items would crash by January 2025. It said the measures, which include the suspension of duties, tariffs, and taxes for the importation of certain food commodities through land and sea borders, as well as the importation of 500,000 metric tons of wheat and maize, would tackle the rise in food prices. The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, who announced this on his X handle, explained that the imported food commodities would be subjected to a recommended retail price to maintain the required and acceptable standard. This came as the All Farmers Association of Nigeria expressed optimism that the price of staple food in Nigeria would crash should the government implement the policies adequately, stressing that in-country food production had been insufficient. Similarly, the organized private sector commended the federal government for the initiative, describing it as robust, comprehensive, and all-inclusive. Now to foreign news. NATO members have pledged their support for an irreversible path to future membership for Ukraine, as well as more aid. While a formal timeline for it to join the military alliance was not agreed at a summit in Washington, D.C., the military alliance's 32 members said they had unwavering support for Ukraine's war effort. NATO also announced further integration with Ukraine's military, and members have committed 40 billion euros in aid in the next year, including F-16 fighter jets and air defense support. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg said support for Ukraine is in the alliance's own interest. Now, sport. The Nigeria Olympic Committee, NOC, says there is no cause for alarm ahead the July 12 final judgment by the Court of Arbitration for Sport, CAS, on allegations by the World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA, that the country is non-compliant with the anti-doping code. Secretary General of the Nigeria Olympic Committee, Tunde Bukwola, while allaying the fears of Nigerians, said the NOC has been able to put things in order. The allegations of non-compliance and the consequences are expected to take effect on Nigeria immediately after CAS makes its ruling on July 12. If Nigeria is found guilty, the punishments recommended by WADA's Compliance Review Committee state that the country's flag will not be flown at the Paris Olympic Games and other competitions. This means that Nigerian athletes will not compete under the country's name and code, and if they win any medal, there will be no room for Nigeria's anthem or flag to be hoisted. The country will also be ineligible to host any major sporting event until reinstatement conditions are met. And that is our news at 10. Just before we go, always drive within the specified speed limit. You can follow us on like all our various social media platforms. X at Traffic Radio 961, Facebook Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, on Instagram Lagos Traffic Radio 961. Subscribe and watch our news and programs live on YouTube at Traffic Radio 961. You can also visit our website www.trafficradio961.ng. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration strengthened alliance with 200 representatives from various women-focused NGOs in the state as part of efforts to alleviate the economic plight of women residents in the state? You can get more details on the Lagos State Government website. To end the news, try the highlights of the major stories. In a bid to showcase the rich cultural heritage of Lagos to the global community and boost the creative economy, the state government is set to boost and host this year's edition of Afropolis. The Federal Ministry of Power and the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, have signed a 115 billion naira memorandum of understanding to secure Nigeria's commitment to electricity sector reforms, market transparency, liquidity, and expanding access to affordable Also told you that NATO members have pledged their support for an irreversible path to future membership for Ukraine, as well as more aid. And in sport, the Nigeria Olympic Committee has assured that there is no cause for alarm ahead of the July 12 final judgment by the Court of Arbitration for Sport, CAS, on allegations by the World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA, that the country is non-compliant with the anti-doping code. For contact with the newsroom, send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. That ends news broadcast compiled by Abiola Fagbalagun. I am Dele Agadumo. Good morning. Thank you for listening.